African core. It will be the centering, the representation.
We've seen a lot of coverage when it comes to the war in Ukraine, and it's devastating to see what has happened there and the lives that have been lost. But then we shouldn't ignore the rest of the crises that are happening, especially in the global south. You know, we've seen what has happened in Pakistan with more than 1,000 people dying because of the flooding and thousands displaced. The destruction, and it's sad that the world may pay attention when it finally gets the coverage, but then a few days later what the world moves on with is the statistics, because when it comes to, you know, the climate crisis, it has different horrible realities, and one of them is that those that are being impacted the most right now, they're the ones that are least responsible. When you look at the African continent, which is responsible for less than 4% of the global emissions historically, and yet so many Africans are suffering the worst impacts of the climate crisis. And for many African countries that heavily depend on agriculture for the survival of their families, their communities, you realize that a lack of rain means, you know, malnutrition, it means starvation, it means death. So it's evident that those who are being impacted the most right now are the ones least responsible. But then they are also the ones that will very often not get listened to. The youth movement has been doing incredible stuff, and I believe that very many young people have spoken truth to power. And yes, many young people are transforming their communities, many young people are speaking up, but then those with the political will and the resources needed to transform the entire world, they're the ones who really need to do something. They're the ones who need to realize that the climate crisis is here and it's affecting lives, it's causing loss and damage.